Hello guys and welcome back to TechWolf. Today we are going to do another CompTIA plus Core 1 quiz, and if you are interested in more quizzes, go to the channel's homepage and click on playlists, and there you will find more quizzes on different CompTIA practice exam questions and quizzes. So let's start with this quiz, CompTIA plus Core 1 practice test 1. A user reports their internet speed is much slower than expected. What is the first troubleshooting step? Reinstall operating system, run a speed test, replace the router, disable the firewall, or lower the monitor brightness. And here the correct answer is run a speed test, as running a speed test helps determine if the issue is with ISP or internet service provider or local network configuration. A technician is configuring home. What is the best encryption protocol for securing Wi-Fi? WEP, AES, 128 or VPA3, Open Network or RTO2.1x. And here the correct answer is VPA3. As VPA3 provides the highest level of encryption and security for wireless networks. A user wants to upgrade their desktop to improve gaming performance. What components should they upgrade first? Graphics card, CPU, hard drive, Wi-Fi adapter, or optical drive. So if you have a gaming PC, or if you are building a gaming PC and you would want to upgrade it, what would you do first? What is the component which you would need first? And here the correct answer is graphics card, as this is for gaming. The GPU has the biggest impact on performance. A technician replaces a desktop motherboard. What must be done before booting into Windows? Reinstall all applications, check that all power and data connections are secure, change the administrator password, format the hard drive, or uninstall the antivirus software. And here the correct answer is check that all power and data connections are secure, as ensuring all components are properly connected prevents potential hardware issues. A user's mobile phone battery drains quickly. Which setting should be adjusted first to extend battery life? Increase Bluetooth range, raise the screen resolution, use 5G instead of Wi-Fi, enable GPS tracking, or lower the screen brightness. And here the correct answer would be lower the screen brightness, as screen brightness is one of the biggest battery drains on mobile devices. A user needs to print from a laptop to a shared office printer, but the printer is connected to another computer. What is the best solution? Move the printer closer to laptop, use a USB to Ethernet adapter, reinstall the printer driver, restart the printer spooler service, or configure the printer as a network printer. And the correct answer here should be configure the printer as a network printer, as network printers allow multiple devices to print without direct physical connections. A technician is troubleshooting a PC that is making a loud grinding noise. What is the most likely component causing this issue? A loose RAM module, failing cooling fan or hard drive, an unstable GPU driver, a damaged motherboard, or faulty HDMI cable. And here the correct answer would be a failing cooling fan or a hard drive. Mechanical components like fans and HDDs or hard drives can produce grinding noise when failing. A user's Wi-Fi keeps disconnecting randomly throughout the day. What is the most likely cause? A failing power supply, an outdated processor, a corrupted operating system, interference from nearby devices, or an external hard drive failure. And here the correct answer would be interference from nearby devices, as wireless interference from devices like microwaves and other Wi-Fi networks can cause connectivity issues. A technician installs a new hard drive in a computer, but it does not appear in Windows Explorer. What is the best next step? Replace the SATA cable, reinstall Windows, initialize the hard drive in disk management, flash the BIOS, or check the monitor connection. And the correct answer here is initialize the drive in disk management, as the new drive needs to be initialized and formatted before it appears in Windows. A user is experiencing slow performance when copying files to an external USB drive. What is the most likely reason? The CPU is overheating, the USB port is USB 2.0 instead of USB 3.0, the firewall is blocking file transfers, the monitor's resolution is too high, or the RAM is faulty. And here the correct answer is the USB port is USB 2.0 instead of USB 3.0, as USB ports 2.0 are much slower than USB 3.0 ports, as USB 2.0 has significantly lower transfer speeds compared to USB 3.0. A user needs to access the BIOS on their Windows 10 laptop, but it boots too quickly to press a key. What is another way to access the BIOS? Unplug the power cord while booting, press Ctrl Alt plus Delete repeatedly, use the Windows Advanced Startup menu, uninstall and reinstall Windows, run check disk in the command prompt. And the correct answer here is use the Windows Advanced Startup menu, as the Advanced Startup menu allows the access to UEFI firmware settings when the boot process is too fast. And next question is, a user complains that their desktop PC does not detect their new NVMe SSD. What is the best troubleshooting step? Check BIOS settings for NVMe support, replace the motherboard, reinstall the operating system, update the USB drivers, or replace the network card. And the correct answer here is check BIOS settings for NVMe support, as some BIOS configurations may require enabling NVMe support, changing the boot mode. A technician is setting up a RAID 1 array. What is the primary benefit of this configuration? And for your CompTIA exams, you need to know everything about RAIDs: RAID 1, RAID 0, RAID 10, and RAID 5. Redundancy, speed improvement, capacity increase, lower cost, or single drive operation. And the correct answer here is redundancy, as RAID 1 mirrors data across two drives, providing fault tolerance. A user reports that their laptop keyboard is typing numbers instead of letters. What is the most likely cause? A failing motherboard, numlock is enabled, a malware infection, misconfigured firewall, or faulty power adapter. And here the correct answer is numlock is enabled, as enabling numlock on compact keyboards can cause some letter keys to function as numeric keypad. A technician is installing a new graphics card in gaming PC. The PC powers on but does not display any video output. What should be checked first? The CPU clock speed, the BIOS version, the hard drive partitions, power connections to the GPU, or the operating system settings. And the correct answer here is power connections to the GPU, as high-performance GPUs often require additional power connections from the PSU. A laptop's battery percentage suddenly drops from 80 to 15%, and the laptop shuts down shortly after. What is the most likely cause? A misconfigured power plan, failing battery, slow Wi-Fi connection, a corrupt boot sector, or failing CPU. And here's the correct answer is a failing battery. A sudden drop in battery charge typically indicates degraded or faulty battery. A company wants to provide wireless network access for employees and guests, but keep them separate. What is the best way to achieve this? Using single SSD for both employees and guests, manually assigning static IP addresses, disable DHCP for guests, set up guest network with VLAN separation, or use MAC address filtering. And the correct answer here is set up guest network with VLAN separation, as VLAN keeps traffic separate, ensuring security between employee and guest networks. A user reports that their desktop computer randomly restarts. A technician checks the event viewer and finds kernel power error. What is the most likely cause? A misconfigured firewall, a corrupted operating system, a failing power supply, faulty USB device, or an outdated graphics driver. And the correct answer here is a failing power supply, as a failing PSU or power supply unit can cause random reboots due to unstable power delivery. A customer complains that their laptop gets extremely hot and sometimes shuts down unexpectedly. What is the most likely cause? Dust buildup blocking airflow, a failing graphics card, a slow internet connection, a corrupted operating system, or an outdated BIOS. And the correct answer here is dust buildup blocking airflow, as overheating is often caused by dust accumulation in cooling fans and vents restricting airflow. A technician is troubleshooting a desktop computer that won't power on. The power cable is connected, but pressing the power button does nothing. What should be checked first? Motherboard BIOS settings, CPU thermal paste application, power supply switch position, monitor cable connection, or hard drive health. And the correct answer here is power supply switch position, as if a PC does not power on at all, check the power switch on the power supply is a logical first step, or checking the power switch on the power supply is a logical first step. A user accidentally deleted an important system file in Windows. What is the best way to recover it? Run System File Checker SFC, reinstall Windows, use Task Manager, disable the firewall, or increase the RAM. And the correct answer here is Run System File Checker or SFC, as SFC now scans and repairs missing or corrupted system files in Windows. A company needs to encrypt all files stored on employee laptops. What Windows feature should they use? Windows Defender, File Compression, System Restore, Check Disk, or BitLocker. And the correct answer here is BitLocker, as BitLocker encrypts entire drive to protect data from unauthorized access. A laptop user reports that their touchpad is unresponsive. What should the technician check first? The device's RAM, the CPU temperature, the user's Windows account settings, a touchpad settings in Windows, or the Wi-Fi configuration. And here the correct answer is touchpad settings in Windows, as the touchpad settings may be disabled, requiring a reconfiguration through Windows settings or function keys. A technician is troubleshooting a Linux system that fails to boot. Which command should they use to check the boot logs? dmesg, ifconfig, check disk, lsl, or psaux. And the correct answer here is dmesg, as the dmesg command displays system logs, including boot errors and hard drive failures. A user installs a new software update and their system begins running extremely slow. What is the best troubleshooting step? Uninstall the update, increase the RAM, run the disk defragmentation, update the BIOS, or disable Windows Defender. And the correct answer would be uninstall the update, because you need to uninstall the update if you have installed something and something is stopped working. So if a software update causes performance issues, rolling back or uninstalling the update is the best initial troubleshooting step. A technician needs to transfer a large file between two Windows computers without using the internet. Which method is the most efficient? Using a USB flash drive, sending the file via email, updating it to a cloud service, using an external hard drive, or setting up a direct Ethernet connection. And the correct answer here would be setting up direct Ethernet connection. As a direct Ethernet connection using an appropriate IP configuration provides the fastest and most secure method for large file transfers. A user's Windows laptop shows a black screen after login. What should the technician check first? The display settings, the user's profile settings, the system's RAM, the system's restore settings, or the device's GPU drivers. And the correct answer here is the device's GPU drivers. A corrupted GPU driver can prevent Windows from displaying graphics after login. Booting into safe mode to reinstall the driver is a common fix. A company is setting up a network and needs to assign IP addresses dynamically. Which protocol should they use? DNS, DHCP, NAT, FTP, or ARP. All these are protocols. Which one of these technicians should use? And here the correct answer is DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, as the Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, or DHCP, automatically assigns IP addresses to devices on a network. A technician is troubleshooting a Mac that won't boot past the Apple logo. What is the best first step? Reinstall macOS immediately, replace the hard drive, run a Windows repair disk, boot into macOS recovery mode, or reset all user accounts. And the correct answer here would be boot into macOS recovery mode, as booting into macOS recovery mode allows technicians to diagnose issues, repair disk, and reinstall macOS if necessary. A Windows user reports that their system frequently crashes with the blue screen error. Which tool should be used to analyze the crash logs? Event Viewer, Task Manager, Disk Management, Device Manager, or Command Prompt? And the correct answer here would be Event Viewer, as the Event Viewer logs system crashes and provides detailed information about the cause, helping diagnose BSOD or blue screen of death errors. A laptop user complains that their Wi-Fi frequently disconnects. What is the most likely cause? A faulty Wi-Fi adapter, an incorrect IP address, a weak signal or interference, a VPN interfering with this connection, or an outdated operating system. And here the correct answer would be a weak signal or interference, as Wi-Fi issues are often caused by weak signals or interference from nearby devices. Changing the Wi-Fi channel or moving closer to the router can help. A technician installs a new GPU, but the system fails to boot. What is the most likely cause? The BIOS is outdated, the RAM is incompatible, the CPU is overheating, the GPU requires additional power connectors, or the hard drive is failing. And the correct answer here would be the GPU requires additional power connectors, as many high-performance GPUs require additional power connectors from the PSU or power supply unit. If these are not connected, the system may fail to boot. A company needs to securely erase all data from the decommissioned SSD. What is the best method? Low-level formatting, running a check disk scan, disk fragmentation, performing a secure erase command, or deleting all files manually. And correct answer here would be performing a secure erase command, as unlike with HDDs or hard disk drives, SSDs require a secure erase command to completely wipe all data, as standard formatting does not remove data from flash memory cells. A technician suspects that malware has infected a system and is preventing access to Task Manager. What is the best next step? Reboot into safe mode and run an antivirus scan, reinstall the operating system, manually delete all unknown processes, perform system restore, or run disk cleanup. And the correct answer here is reboot into safe mode and run antivirus scan, as safe mode prevents most malware from running, allowing the technician to perform an effective antivirus scan. A user receives an error stating that the USB device is not recognized. What is the most likely cause? A USB power surge? The USB device is formatted incorrectly? The computer's antivirus software is blocking it? The CPU is overheating? Or the USB driver is outdated? And correct answer here is that the USB driver is outdated, as if a USB device is not recognized, an outdated or corrupted driver is often the issue. Updating the driver can resolve this. A technician replaces a user's hard disk drive with SSD or solid-state drive. After installation, the user complains that the performance has not improved significantly. What should be checked? The system's SATA mode settings, the SSD's partition alignment, the BIOS boot order, the antivirus software settings, or the operating system's page file configuration. And the correct answer here is the system's SATA mode settings, as if the system mode is set to IDE instead of AHCI, the SSD will not perform optimally. AHCI mode enables features like native command, queuing, NCQ, and trim. A Windows system is experiencing a slow boot times. Which tool should be used to analyze startup programs? Check disk, msconfig, disk part, event viewer, device manager, or device manager. And here the correct answer is msconfig. As the system configuration tool, msconfig allows users to manage startup programs and services, which can help improve boot times. A user reports that their laptop screen randomly turns off, but the system remains powered on. What should the technician check first? The GPU driver settings, the display refresh rate, the power and sleep settings, the system's antivirus software, or the BIOS firmware version. And here the correct answer is the power and sleep settings. If the screen turns off while the system remains on, it's likely due to power settings, which may be configured to turn off the display after a short period of inactivity. A technician is setting up a RAID 5 array but notices that one of the disks is not being recognized in the BIOS. What should they check first? The power supply unit, the disk file system, the disk partition type, the SATA or power cable connection, the system's antivirus settings. And the correct answer here is the SATA or power cable connection, as if the BIOS does not detect a drive, a loose or faulty SATA or power cable is the most likely issue. A user reports that their laptop's battery drains extremely fast, even when fully charged. What is the most likely cause? The power adapter is faulty, the battery is failing or degraded, the CPU is overheating, the RAM is faulty, or the hard drive is fragmented. And the correct answer is that the battery is failing or degraded. As over time, lithium-ion batteries degrade and lose their ability to hold the charge, leading to rapid battery drain. And here see the results, and we answered everything 100%, I believe. As you can see, we answered everything 100%, and here are all questions. So yes guys, I hope that you found this video useful. If you did, leave a like, share this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and see you in the next one.